God's advice today. Have you ever felt that God is trying to speak to you, yet in the busyness of life, His signs go unnoticed? This message invites you to pause, reflect, and open your heart. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed to hear today. Watch until the end with openness, and if these words touch you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more messages like this. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for a 1-minute prayer and a recommended message to help strengthen your faith even more. God said, "My beloved son, listen once again to this voice that surrounds you and calls you since before you took your first breath. Nothing on your path was wasted, nothing happened by accident, because every step, every tear, every silence filled with pain and hope was part of a purpose greater than your mind can understand right now. I tell you with eternal love, what you called a delay was, in truth, the ground where I prepared your maturity. What hurt you was shaping your inner strength, and everything that was taken away was making room for the extraordinary that I am already bringing into existence." Do you feel ready for a profound change in your life and in the lives of those you love? Sometimes all we need is a small step of faith to open the doors of abundance, peace, and the blessings I have already reserved for you. A simple 1-minute prayer can be the beginning of a spiritual journey that transforms the inside and reflects on the outside. If you desire to attract more light, balance, and prosperity, spiritual and material, click on the first comment. There you will find a simple practice, guided with love, that will help you connect more deeply with my presence in your life. I guided you through the darkness not to lose you, but to teach you to recognize my presence even when everything around you seemed to collapse. I taught you to discern my voice amid the noise of the world, to remain standing when everything pushed you to give up, and to trust when nothing made sense. Now, my son, enter the time when my light becomes manifest upon you with a strength you have never experienced before. For it is written, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. John chapter 8 verse 12. The light upon you has arrived, and what I have released from the heights of heaven no one will be able to stop. Comment, I trust in God's love, He is my refuge. There were moments when your heart doubted whether I was truly there, because the weight was too heavy and the silence seemed too deep. But I want you to understand something. When I became silent, it was not absence, it was strategy. When I allowed you to wait, it was not punishment, it was growth. When I allowed you to be underestimated, it was not rejection, it was construction. I was writing a chapter that no one could interfere with, and that chapter now unfolds before you. The one who judged you incapable will see the glow I placed upon your life. The one who turned his back on you will witness your elevation. The one who hurt you will see your restoration. For I raised you not to inflate your ego, but to fulfill an eternal purpose shaped by my own hands. The influence I give you is not vanity, it is mission. The honor I place on you is not status, it is platform. The victory I grant you is not performance, it is legacy. Comment, I trust the process God built in my story. Son, remember when you believed everything was lost? When you thought I had forgotten you? I was there, watching every movement of your spirit, and even when you did not perceive it, my Holy Spirit sustained you. I delivered you from falls you didn't even know were coming, protected you from invisible attacks, and removed obstacles that would have destroyed your future. I tell you, no tear fell without me collecting it, no sigh of pain passed unnoticed by my eyes, no silent request went unanswered. Now I prepare for you a time of revelation so deep that your mind will be renewed and your heart strengthened. As my word says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm 23 verse 4. I was with you in the valley, and now I will be with you on the mountaintop. Comment: God protected me when no one saw. My son, this truth that comes from your mouth is the purest reflection of the journey you lived. You learned, in the secrecy of your pains, that no genuine strength is born from human pride, but from deep dependence on the one who sustains you. When you thought you were on the edge of collapse, I lifted you. When you believed you had no strength left to continue, I strengthened you silently. When the weight was too heavy, I carried what your shoulders alone could not. Your strength is not the result of your own ability nor of self-sufficiency, for if it were so, you would have fallen long ago. Your strength comes from the divine breath I placed inside you, from my hand that lifted you in the early mornings when you cried unseen, from the battles you thought you were losing but that I had already won before they began. And that is why now you walk with authority, because you are not moved by your own energy, but by my presence. And as long as you acknowledge that the strength is mine, I will lead you to places you never imagined reaching. My son, today I pour upon you a mantle of discernment, so you may recognize what comes from me and what comes to distract you. The enemy will try to whisper doubts, make noise around you, raise carefully designed distractions, but you will not fall, for I have opened your spiritual eyes. Remember what is written, if God is for us, who can be against us? Romans chapter 8 verse 31. No opposing force will prevail against you. I give you vision to recognize false brightness before you fall into any trap, wisdom to choose the path that leads to life, and spiritual sensitivity to hear my voice even in the midst of turmoil. Nothing will steal the harvest I am bringing, for now you walk with awareness, purpose, and divine direction. Comment: I recognize God's voice above all others. Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. This is the time when your soul will be fully aligned with heaven. The peace I send you will not be a fragile or temporary peace, but a deep and steady one that sustains your mind, your body, and your spirit even in the midst of storms that once frightened you. The healing I release over you reaches ancient wounds, hidden memories that held you captive, and inner pains you avoided revisiting because you thought they would consume you. Today I break the chains of your past and dissolve the arrows that lodged themselves in your heart. The invisible weight you carried without noticing will begin to melt away, and you will see yourself breathing more lightly, thinking more clearly, and feeling hope where before there was exhaustion. I give you inner freedom, because no one can advance while still tied to what has already ended. And as this freedom settles into your spirit, you will experience a new emotional order being established, rest where there was restlessness, clarity where there was confusion, and strength where there was fear. My healing goes beyond what you can consciously understand. It restores roots, memories, and layers you forgot existed. Comment: God is healing what I could not. I am unlocking doors that once seemed impenetrable, opening paths you never imagined walking, and releasing opportunities that in the past did not even acknowledge your existence. Just as it is written, "Behold, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." Revelation chapter 3 verse 8. Now, no one will be able to close what I have chosen to open. No one will dim what I have chosen to illuminate. No one will delay what I have ordered to manifest. I am moving hearts, shifting thoughts, connecting people, and aligning circumstances with a precision you cannot see but will soon recognize. Resources will come from unexpected directions, help will arrive before you ask, and people will remember you without knowing why, but I know why. It is because the time of reward has arrived, the season of harvest has come, and the promises I whispered in your spirit are reaching their appointed hour. What once ignored you will now call for you, what once resisted you will now yield, and what once seemed distant will stand before you. Comment: God opened doors I never imagined. What once seemed like loss will now reveal itself as a platform for elevation. What once wounded you will become your testimony. What once made you question will now strengthen you for the future I prepared. I am transforming your environment, renewing your identity, restoring your confidence, and cleansing your spiritual vision so you can see with clarity what was once blurred by pain. What used to knock you down will now be a stepping stone. What used to frighten you will now become wisdom. What used to paralyze you will become fuel for your purpose. I give you boldness to speak, courage to advance, perspective to discern, and maturity to enter territories you once feared touching. Do not walk looking backward, for the past no longer holds any authority over you. I make you new, completely new, from the foundation of your bones to the deepest fibers of your spirit. And as this new identity awakens within you, you will notice how the weight of old emotions no longer has permission to govern your decisions. You will rise differently, walk differently, choose differently, because transformation is taking place from the inside out. Comment: my future is greater than anything I lost. Receive this eternal truth, my son. Nothing I designed for your life can be frustrated or undone. As my word declares, the plans of the Lord stand firm forever. Psalm 33 verse 11. Every spiritual resistance surrounding you is beginning to collapse, one barrier at a time. The walls that limited you are breaking, and the invisible cages that held your steps are crumbling under the sound of the victory I now release into your spirit. This sound will echo through every area of your life, until everything aligns with the decree I have spoken over you. Heaven is in movement on your behalf. I command angels to work in your favor, aligning times, restoring what was broken, and bringing order to what was scattered. Nothing will stop what I have established, because my word does not return empty. It accomplishes, fulfills, transforms, and manifests exactly what I send it to do. And soon you will witness how everything that once resisted you now bows before the authority of my promise. Comment: God's word is being fulfilled in my life. Now, my beloved son, enter the time of fulfillment. What was once only a promise will now begin to take shape before your very eyes. What was invisible will become visible. What seemed distant will draw near. What you thought impossible will become natural under my power. I will move situations, accelerate processes, restore pathways, open doors that were sealed, and honor every tear you shed when no one was watching. The reward I prepare is not merely material, it is emotional, spiritual, and physical. Peace will walk beside you. Strength will uphold you. Joy will renew you from the inside out. And when you look back, you will understand, nothing was wasted, nothing was random, nothing was punishment. Everything was preparation for this moment you are stepping into now. Walk forward with confidence, for I send you as a living testimony that my faithfulness never fails. Those who doubted you will witness, and those who believed in you will celebrate my work in your life. Your story enters a new chapter, one written directly by my hands. Comment, I am ready to live what God has prepared. I have walked through scenes of your life that even you believed were forgotten, and I am rewriting the ending of each one. Where the enemy attempted to place a period, I am placing ellipses of hope and commas of new beginnings. I do not merely repair what was broken, I recreate. Every step you took in the darkness was counted, and every breath you released was gathered. Even in the moments when you believed you were walking alone, your footprints were beside mine. The loneliness you endured was the furnace where I forged your truest identity, freeing you from the craving for human approval. That is why now, you stand with a strength you did not know you possessed, rooted not in the opinions of others, but in the truth I have spoken over you. And that truth is becoming the foundation upon which everything in your future will be built. What once felt like abandonment was, in reality, the classroom where you learned to hear me without distractions. Now I call you into a season where your sensitivity to my voice will become your greatest compass. The patience you practiced was never passive, it was an active force that preserved your heart from bitterness. While the world demanded everything instantly, you learned the silent language of trust. And this language will now become the melody of your new season, a symphony of grace that draws toward you everything that carries your name in destiny. Even your failures, the moments you long to erase, have been interwoven into the divine design. Those falls were not stains on your journey, they were stones polished by pressure, becoming the path upon which others will one day walk with confidence. Nothing in your story was ever wasted. My grace turned even the dust of your mistakes into gold. I am the God who creates value out of what others discard, and you are about to see how every fragment of your past becomes part of a greater, radiant mosaic. Now rise and receive what I am releasing. Open wide the windows of your spirit, for the wind of change is no longer a distant whisper. It is a gentle hurricane of grace sweeping away the last traces of winter. The seeds you watered in secret, the ones you thought had died, are breaking through the soil right beneath your feet. The season of blossoming has arrived, and its fragrance will mark the beginning of everything new. I am not merely returning what was taken from you, I am multiplying it. When I rise to move, I do not bring back compensation, I bring an abundant harvest. The silence you endured was not empty, it was the secret chamber where I prepared the explosion of your victory. The adversary thought you were at your end, but he did not see the flame I had placed inside you, a flame that cannot be extinguished by circumstances. This is the faith that resists the wind, that glows in the ashes, that aligns itself with my power. And because your faith now meets my power, what comes next will be celebrated even in the heavens. My angels have received their orders and are moving even now. I am sending them to places your eyes cannot see, but the results will be undeniable. Situations that were blocked will open. Influential people will cross your path by divine direction. Doors that seemed permanently sealed will swing open with ease, as though they had never been shut. You will witness the supernatural merging with the natural in ways that leave you breathless. There is a sound of change in the atmosphere, and everything around you is beginning to respond to my word. What was chaos is organizing itself. What was storm is settling. What was loss is transforming into gain. I command time itself to work in your favor. What the enemy stole from you in years, I will return to you in days. There will be no more delay. No more resistance. It is time for fulfillment. You will begin to notice small signs first, each one a confirmation that heaven is moving. An unexpected call. A proposal out of nowhere. An encounter orchestrated with precision. A sudden opportunity that makes no earthly sense. Nothing about this will be coincidence. It is my hand, making the invisible visible. Pay attention to the details, for I am aligning every piece with accuracy. No door opens before the time I appoint. But when I decree that it should open, no force in existence can close it. The enemy will watch in silence as I do what only I can do. He tried to bury you, but he forgot that you are a seed, and every seed that enters the ground rises multiplied. You will flourish in the very place where you were humiliated. You will be honored where you were rejected. You will walk with confidence through doors that once resisted you. And this confidence will not be arrogance, it will be a testimony of my faithfulness written across your life. The atmosphere of your home will change. Where there was heaviness, peace will take residence. Where there were arguments, harmony will blossom. Where there was fear, laughter will echo. Where there was scarcity, abundance will overflow. I do not merely shift circumstances, I transform atmospheres. There will be days when you wake up and whisper, "It's real," because what once felt like a distant promise will have become your everyday reality. Your steps will be steady, your voice secure, your decisions anchored in divine clarity. This will not come from pride but from awareness, from knowing what I have placed inside you. You asked me for a blessing, but I was shaping a destiny. You cried out for a miracle, but I was transforming you into a miracle for others. Everything that begins to flourish now in your life will become a testimony that heals wounds in hearts you have never met. I am lifting you not for admiration, but for purpose. I am giving you platforms not for applause, but for influence. I am expanding your territory not for prestige, but for impact. What I will do in you will be seen by many, but what I will do through you will touch even more. People will look at your transformation and feel hope rising in places inside them that had long been abandoned. Your growth will become a beacon in the night for those who feel lost. Your restoration will become evidence that nothing is too broken for my hands. Your story will become a bridge for the wounded, a shelter for the weary, a signpost for the searching. And everywhere you go, you will carry the fragrance of the season I brought you into, a fragrance that speaks of redemption, resurrection, and rebirth. This is the unfolding of everything I promised. This is the season where what was hidden becomes visible, where what was delayed becomes accelerated, where what was lost becomes multiplied. You are stepping into days that will reveal why the process was necessary, why the silence was sacred, why the tears were collected, why the waiting was preparation. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Nothing was abandoned. Every second was accounted for in the blueprint of your destiny. And now, as heaven moves, earth will respond. You will walk in places that once intimidated you. You will speak with authority in moments where you once trembled. You will step into opportunities that were once impossible. You will breathe easier, love deeper, rise higher, live fuller. This is the moment when heaven bends low to meet your faith, and every step you take becomes an echo of the divine movement already unfolding in the unseen realms. You are not rising by chance, nor advancing because of coincidence, but because the faithfulness you carried in silence has been honored in the open. Now is the time to stand up with conviction, to move with purpose, to walk toward what has already been released in your favor. The heavens are not waiting for more signs. They are already in motion for you, rearranging circumstances, unlocking paths, and preparing an atmosphere where your obedience will meet supernatural acceleration. When you take the first courageous step, the ground that felt unstable beneath you will open with secure foundation. When you speak with trust, wisdom will flow through your lips like water that knows its course. When you dare to dream again, opportunities will appear not as coincidence, but as divine alignment. Many will try to understand what I am doing in you and through you, but they will not grasp it, because revelation is not explained, revelation is manifested. And when it manifests, the difference in your life will testify on its own. That difference will be the undeniable evidence of my presence shaping your story, your identity, and your destiny in ways that human understanding cannot measure. I remove from your shoulders the cloak of shame that the enemy tried to throw over your past. I lift from your heart the weight of guilt, the burden of labels, and the imprint of every accusation that tried to define you. What once made you lower your head will now become the source of your gratitude. I dress you again with garments of royalty, garments that remind you that you are chosen, set apart, and called by name. I restore to you dignity that no opinion can take, authority that no lie can diminish, and a voice that no darkness can silence. Everything around you begins to shift now, as if creation itself is responding to the arrival of your appointed time. Where there was barrenness, fruit will emerge with unexpected abundance. Projects that felt stagnant will come alive with movement and direction. Relationships fractured by pain will be restored with tenderness and clarity. What had dried up will bloom in ways that surprise even those who doubted. I breathe life over everything that seemed dead, just as breath entered the dry bones in the valley and raised them into an army. I breathe over your story, and your story rises again, not as what it once was, but as what it was always meant to be. I am the same God who parts seas, who collapses the walls built by giants, who transforms the improbable into the stage where the impossible is displayed. I have not changed. My power has not diminished. My miracles are not memories, they are movements that continue even now. You will see my hand act so clearly that all doubt within you will dissolve like mist under the morning sun. Even the silence you endured was part of my design. Just as dawn arrives quietly before the world awakens, so too did my plan rise within your life long before you saw signs of its unfolding. Every heartbeat during your moments of uncertainty became a rhythm keeping time with a song your soul had not yet learned to recognize. Now that melody grows louder, spreading through the visible world around you, pulling perfect alignments, opening invisible doors, and drawing confirmations that speak not to your mind alone, but to the deepest places of your spirit. What once felt like scattered intuition was, in truth, your inner compass adjusting to the coordinates of my will. Without noise, without display, but with unbreakable certainty, the unseen has been weaving the threads of your new day. Not one plan crafted by human intention can interfere with what has been sealed in the heavens. Your blessing is not in negotiation, it is already released. Your time has come, and your testimony begins to take shape. What you feel awakening within you is not merely an emotion, it is the movement of my spirit stirring from the depths of where it has always dwelled. It did not come from the outside. It rises from within, where it was hidden beneath years of pain, layers of fear, and echoes of voices that never understood the magnitude of your calling. But now I breathe upon the spirit I placed in you, and it wakes, stands, and reignites the fire that the enemy tried so desperately to extinguish. The same Spirit that hovered over the waters at the beginning of all creation now hovers over you. In this very moment, it moves through every shadowed corner of your being, filling them with light that breaks chains, dissolves lies, and reveals truth. Where there was loneliness, comfort rises. Where there were wounds, healing takes root. Where exhaustion weighed heavily, strength that exceeds human capacity begins to flow with quiet authority. My Spirit surrounds you like a warm wind in the coldness of uncertainty, reminding you that you have never been alone, not for a single breath, not for a single tear, not for a single moment. My Spirit brings comfort independent of your circumstances, because comfort is not something you receive from the world, it is something that radiates from my presence within you. When the world steps back, my Spirit steps forward. When doubt whispers, my Spirit declares faith. When every voice grows silent, my Spirit speaks with clarity that pierces through confusion. It translates your groans into prayer, your tears into intercession, and your silence into communion. Nothing you feel is overlooked, because my Spirit inhabits every corner of your being, witnessing every moment that touches you and standing as your companion even in what you believed was solitude. There are moments when something stirs in your chest, a warmth, a sudden peace, a trembling that you cannot explain. That is my Spirit signaling my nearness. It does not enter with noise, but with certainty. It does not demand, but it transforms. My presence is like the wind, unseen yet undeniable, invisible yet powerful enough to shift the direction of forests. My Spirit rekindles what was fading. It lifts what had fallen. It strengthens what was weak. And just as trees submit to the direction of the wind, your life begins to align with the flow of my purpose, bending toward the light, leaning toward what I am awakening in you. Your strength is no longer only yours, it is mine within you. When you believe you cannot go further, it is my Spirit who propels you. When you rise without knowing where the strength came from, it is my Spirit sustaining you. When you forgive those who wounded you, it is my Spirit healing through you, turning bitterness into freedom and memory into testimony. You no longer live by what your abilities can produce. You live by the breath that I placed inside you. My Spirit does not visit you temporarily, it inhabits you with permanence. It fills the places where fear once ruled. It speaks in the places where you felt voiceless. It brings clarity where confusion once clouded your vision. Every moment you thought was empty was actually a moment of my Spirit surrounding you, preparing you, restructuring you from the inside out. What seemed like delay was refinement. What felt like silence was instruction. What you perceived as abandonment was actually the shaping of your foundation, so that when this moment arrived, you would be ready, not just to receive, but to carry what I am pouring over your life. My Spirit is awakening every dormant piece of you, calling your gifts to the surface, calling your courage to attention, calling your destiny by name. And as you rise, everything connected to your purpose rises with you, doors, people, paths, opportunities, and divine appointments ordained long before you touched this moment. And now, as you inhale this new season, the atmosphere around you shifts. The spiritual climate responds to the awakening within you, because what is happening is not simply emotional, it is eternal. You stand at the threshold of a transformation that will not only redefine your journey but will also testify of my power to restore, redeem, rebuild, and resurrect. You will walk through what once intimidated you. You will speak where you once hesitated. You will dream where you once feared. Because my Spirit breathes through you, and where my Spirit breathes, nothing remains the same. You are stepping into a reality shaped not by the limitations of your past, but by the fullness of my promise. And as you move forward, every step becomes evidence of the God who has been writing your story from the beginning, the God who still moves waters, still awakens bones, still lights the path of those who dare to believe, still transforms pain into purpose, still turns waiting into fulfillment, and still breathes life into everything that carries your name. There are moments when the breath within you feels heavier than the weight your hands can carry, and yet something unseen keeps lifting you. That gentle force, that quiet warmth, that subtle stirring in your chest is not random emotion, it is the movement of my spirit. Even when you do not recognize His presence, He surrounds you like the atmosphere that sustains your life. He walks with you through every step, weaving Himself into your thoughts, your decisions, your whispers and your silences. He does not shout directives, nor does He force your path. Instead, He aligns your heart with wisdom without demanding recognition. He is the faithful companion who never abandons you, the counselor whose guidance never falters, the comfort that does not fade when circumstances shift. When He moves with power, chains that existed for years fall effortlessly, fears dissolve without explanation, and the wounds hidden so deeply that even you avoided touching them begin to heal. He enters into the innermost chambers of your being, into places no person could ever reach, and restores what once seemed forever lost. My spirit is both my softest touch and my mightiest fire. He purifies like flame but soothes like living water. While the world tries to pull you outward, exhausting your strength and scattering your focus, He continually calls you inward, into the center of your faith, into the truth of your identity, into the essence of who you are in me. He reminds you that you are not a survivor who barely scraped through the storms of life. You are a chosen one, marked with eternal purpose. He brings to your memory that you are not the consequence of coincidence, but the outcome of a divine design written long before you breathed your first breath. When human words fail to comfort you, He lifts you from the ground where despair tried to anchor you. When loneliness encircles you with its cold grip, He wraps you in warmth no human arms can replicate. I did not send Him merely to walk beside you, but to act through you, to reveal my living presence in your voice, in your touch, in your actions. When you embrace someone and they feel a peace they cannot describe, it is my spirit flowing through you. When you speak in heart softened though you said nothing extraordinary, it is His whisper carried by your words. Even now, you can sense a change in the atmosphere around you, a lightness, a clarity, a fresh breath preceding spiritual abundance. The shadows of your past retreat, not because you became stronger, but because the light that accompanies you knows no defeat. Every step you take echoes with intention, every moment becomes infused with divine timing, every encounter bears the mark of heavenly orchestration. When the scenery shifts and time seems to accelerate, it is not chaos, it is my spirit unveiling His power, advancing you into the purpose for which you were created. He is not only the strength that helps you overcome, but the compassion that teaches you to love, the grace that enables you to forgive, the hope that empowers you to rise again, and the resilience that equips you to rebuild what once was broken. My spirit transforms fragility into courage, timidity into boldness, and the ordinary into the extraordinary. He does not select the perfect, He equips the willing. And because you have chosen to remain faithful even through moments of confusion, isolation, and heartache, He is filling you in ways you never imagined possible. Now you can feel the weight lifting from your shoulders, a new clarity awakening in your mind, and a widening space in your heart where peace begins to grow. The Spirit aligns your thoughts with mine, giving birth to new ideas, opening unexpected paths, and causing opportunities to sprout where once there was only barren ground. He does not comfort you merely to soothe you, He comforts you to propel you forward. He does not support you only to sustain you, He strengthens you so you can rise higher than what once restrained you. Within you, He is awakening gifts you didn't realize you carried, gifts planted long ago but buried beneath fear, pain, and silence. Words that once trembled at the edge of your lips now carry spiritual weight. Thoughts that once drifted aimlessly now hold direction and purpose. Decisions that once overwhelmed you now present a clear path because He has become the filter for your emotions and the compass for your steps. Through Him, you will learn to discern what is merely human from what is divinely orchestrated, and the burdens you once carried will become significantly lighter. Many mistake my Spirit for fleeting emotion, but He is balance, wisdom, and stability. He grants peace in the midst of battle, serenity under pressure, and clarity in chaos. While the world screams, He speaks softly. While fear tries to dominate your mind, He whispers courage. His voice may be gentle, but His power is immeasurable. The enemy trembles at the presence of my Spirit, because wherever He dwells, darkness cannot remain. No curse can survive His fire, no opposing force can withstand His authority. My Spirit is my living anointing resting upon you, sealing you with a protection that no adversary